Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And hello, everybody. I'm Michael.
It's crime fighting time. Oh, I'm John. Sorry.
And I'm Andrew. John, you stole it. I was going to come in and say fighting crime in a future time. So you kind of stole my thunder.
John, you said that so good, too.
Yeah, he did. Hey, everybody. This is the Brothers Newland. We are here for another episode of Toy Rewind. We are talking this week about the smash hit for the 1988 year, 88, 89, and it's C.O.P.S and Crooks.
C.O.P.S and Crooks.
So interesting. We'll talk about the C.O.P.S and Crooks. Anybody know what C.O.P.S stands for?
I do.
Okay,
Central
Michael does.
Organization of Police Specialists.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the O word earlier. I was like, it's something
Organization.
Yeah, so we are talking about those. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. It's another line from Hasbro. So before we get there, though, John.
I got something to say real quick.
Okay.
And I get a kick out of this every time I listen to it. When we have our introduction and the guy says our host, he goes, host. He always says, it sounds funny. I don't know if you guys catch that or not.
I don't think I've ever.
Let's do it. It sounds funny the way he says it.
I'm gonna have to listen to it again.
You might have to replay that.
So do you want me to do it right now? We're not gonna do it right now. If you're wondering about that, if you didn't know it, just rewind about 2 minutes and you can hear him say it. All right. We'll jump in before we jump into things. John.
It just sounds funny to me. Okay, John, go.
John.
All right. My turn. All right. Social networks. Check our website out at toyrewindpodcast.com. You can also check us out on crossthestreamsmedia.com with our partners over there. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Look us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It's all Toy Rewind Podcast. Toy Rewind Pod. Sorry. Facebook and YouTube are Toy Rewind Podcast. We do stream our Toy Box showcases to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch when we do them. I think Michael's got several of those he needs to do with some performers and stuff like that. Andrew, I have stuff coming in, but it's a while before I got it, so unfortunately I'll be out.
I have stuff coming in until like 2030, so it just gets here.
Another 9 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Heard that. Also, check out our podcast bingo card at podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind. Andrew puts those together for us and a lot of our other fellow podcasters. And then check us out occasionally when we do our collector showcases. We team up with the Geek Together channel on Twitch.
And we are working. We have another one on. We're just trying to get dates figured out when everybody's available to do it. So we'll have that coming up. So make sure you are following all of us on there and all things. So it's been a little while since we recorded. We didn't really take a break from recording. We recorded too early, and then I went to Disney, and now I'm back. And you guys had to wait for me to do any more.
Yeah, you went to Disney. Me and John had to work.
Yeah, you guys had to work. Well, like I was telling John, I'm really just I'm happy to be home. It was a long drive, so happy to be here. Get back to normal with stuff and everything. But what's going on with you guys? I know it's been a long. Michael got a little confused about some words earlier. I know it's been a long day for Michael.
Yeah.
But what's going on? What's new?
No, like John said, I picked up a couple of new Transformers. I'm putting together this studio series set. I got Thrust from the Bumblebee movie. And one of my favorite characters that came out for the Transformers movie in 1986 was Wreck-Gar. I think he's one of my favorite favorite new ones from that popped up from that movie. But I got those two. I got a couple of pops, Superman pops. I got Cyborg Superman, Brainiac, and I did spent $5 for that Domo Superman too.
Domo Superman.
So you have a total of 5 Transformers to open now and assemble?
Yeah, 1, 2. I got Thrust, Wreck-Gar, Hot Rod, the '86 movie version of
He's looking around where you put him.
yeah, Grimlock, and then I got Scavenger. I don't know where Grimlock is.
That was 5, right? That's 5.
That's 5.
Yeah.
So that's
then
going to be.
I got Scavenger from. He's from Revenge of the Fallen, and then like I said, Hot Rod is from the Last Night. He's the World War II version of. Hot Rod.
That's essentially a good 10 hours worth of content, because it's going to take you at least an hour to open each one, because you got to get all the little things off, and then about an hour to transform them, because those things can be confusing. So
Right.
that's like 10 hours worth of content.
It says 30 steps to transform him.
Jeez.
From his robot mode to his Cybertron mode.
Yeah, me and Andrew might jump in and out of that point.
Yeah.
Wreck-Gar's
That's-
22 steps.
All right, I got to go eat.
That's why I like these, because they got more than just 2 steps to transform. You gotta actually think about it. So.
Can we do that as a charity stream?
I won't do all of that in one little stream.
We do that as a charity stream.
I can just open it and just show everybody what it looks like, and then that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, then we show some pictures and everything. So
yeah.
John, do you anything? What do you have new coming? What do you have ordered?
Some Pops, Monopoly, Mr. Monopoly.
Some Mr. Monopolies.
And I don't know if I ordered the other Ghostbusters or not. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look.
Bankman?
Yeah.
I have him ordered. I have 2 of them coming whenever they come along.
I don't remember if I ordered them or not.
Yeah, so I did get
I gotta go back and look at my notes.
Yeah, I did get these sodas, these Batmite sodas. And I got one of each. I ordered 2, and I got a Chase and a Common.
That's cool.
I didn't wait to open them because I was impatient. And then also, while I was gone, I got a random package delivered to my house, and it's this Chris Humanga Batman from Robbie. Didn't know he was actually ready to send it to me. And I had no idea what it was. So luckily, Dad was able to come by and pick the package up off the front porch, because there's a random package sitting there. So I got that. I got a whole bunch of Batman. So Batman Day was not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before.
Yeah.
So when that was the Saturday that I was driving to Florida, and we knew on that Friday there's probably going to be a bunch of drops from Funko, because they announced everything, except they didn't actually drop anything. And so I spent the whole time we were at Disney wondering when they were going to drop all of these Batmans, the diecast Batman, all the stuff. And luckily they dropped it today. This is Monday, the 27th. They dropped it today, waiting for me to get home. So I have all of that coming at some point.
They just waited for you.
They just waited for me. They were just like, hey, we're going to wait till he gets home. And so I was able to get all of that. Happy about that. So lots of stuff coming in. We're going to have to, I'll wait and open any of that. We can do showcases. So
yeah,
that'll be good. I just couldn't wait on this other ones.
I got a lot of other diecast and stuff too in this week. But
yeah, you got lots of good diecast?
Yeah, I got some pretty good stuff. So
okay, we really got to get you on a showcase to like really showcase a bunch of your cars there.
We'll figure that out.
If we only knew the people that run it that could schedule that. So hard. So
Michael, what questions would you ask yourself?
You get to run your own, Michael.
Yeah. Just get a hold of my people and we'll get something set up.
All right. Give me. We'll work it out. All right. It is time for our fun for all question. This one very fitting for this week, I think, because we just had Batman Day. And we just recently got the new Spider-Man trailer. So we're going to mix the two of them together. And I want to know who you think would win between a fight between Spider-Man and Batman. So, I mean, there is the common Batman, Superman fighting, whatever. But who would you think would win between Batman and Spider-Man?
Does it depend on which Batman and which Spider-Man are fighting each other? There's so many different versions of each.
There's a lot of different versions. So you get to pick that on. That's whatever you think.
All right. Just the Peter Parker Spider-Man and the 66 Batman. The 66 Batman, I think the 66 Batman would win because he'll have the spider spray on his belt.
Of course he would.
Belt. It's like the shark spray. Yeah. I think he'd have some spider spray. I think he'd be good.
And Robin would say, "Holy metal web slingers, Batman," or something like that. Yeah, John.
Captain America.
Captain America.
I don't know. I'm not, I guess, a big fan like y'all are with those two. So I would go Batman on him, just because he's always the older one every time he's shown. So
yeah,
knowledge
is good.
Knowledge over teenage stupidity.
Interestingly enough, I go with Batman. But I think that I think that Iron Spider would give him a run for his money. And he would have to, he would have a plan because he's got a plan for everything.
Yeah.
But Iron Spider would give him a run for his money. What, John?
Iron Man and Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Combined?
No, Iron Spider is the one that Tony Stark makes for him. So the one that he wears in Infinity War and Endgame, that's technically Iron Spider. Because it's not his normal suit. He's an iron. He's got the extra claws or the extra legs. And
that's all it was. It nanotech?
Yeah, it's all nanotech. Yeah.
Nanotech.
So that's technically Iron Spider. So I just think that because I think a lot of that is not necessarily Spider-Man, but the suit is amazing. Yeah.
It's all about the suit.
It's all about the suit. I mean, that's what is it in is it No or Far From Home or Homecoming that he gets the suit and he's got the red like instant kill or whatever?
Yeah. And it pops up instant kill. And
he's like, I don't want to kill anybody. Yeah. So there's all those little features and functions like that are mixed in that, could make it a little complicated for Batman, at first. So, but he'd find a way. He would.
But again, some of that even goes into the teenage stupidity. The young stupidity part of it, how everything came about.
Yeah. So hey, it's always. I think it would be a good fight. It would be fun to watch, and then more than likely something would come up, and Peter would say Martha or something, and
he would say, "Oh, I know this really old movie that I saw that, and it's like from 1985 or something."
Have you ever seen Goonies? Yeah, something stupid like that, and then
that's a really old movie.
They'd be best friends, and who knows? So, all right. Also, I saw just throw this in here. I saw some kind of teaser or spoiler that the Batman and Flash movie. I guess it's just the Flash movie, but like the mix of their suits and stuff. Interested. I haven't looked really more than that, but I saw some screenshot of something. So, you guys know anything about that?
The Bat Flash.
The Bat Flash.
So it's the Flash.
I saw something, but I didn't go.
Oh, the Bat.
I didn't get a chance to really look at it. No,
I'm just confused. Yeah.
When we're talking about movies, I did go see Shang-Chi this weekend.
Finally,
me and Rainey went Sunday morning and saw it. Yeah.
What'd you think?
John took it. Yeah, we're not going to spoil anything.
I just want to know what he thought.
I thought it was a good movie. I think just hearing everybody say how great it was, and just comparing it to, like Black Panther and stuff. Like I said in an earlier episode, from what I've heard, now that I've actually seen it, to me, there's a lot of extra story in there to tell his backstory,
Yeah.
and you have to sit through that. But it was a good movie. I thought it was good. Just there was some things that seemed like it. Like Black Panther, you got some of his backstory in Winter Soldier, and then some of that stuff. So, but I think there's a lot of storytelling in there and everything. So I think that's what kind of slowed it down for me. It was just kind of slow in some spots. Is what I feel like after watching it.
Yeah. So I
really still thought it was a
enjoyed
good movie. Yeah, it was still a good movie. And what really got my attention was the parts later on in the movie that will eventually tie into other movies.
Yeah.
I think that's what piqued my interest more. My favorite parts of the movie were those parts where you could see where it would reach out to future movies.
I'm really excited that it's going to be on Disney Plus here very soon.
Yeah,
because
I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it again. I think I'll probably enjoy it the second time better.
I feel like I'm going to pick up on more things.
Yeah,
and then when John finally when he finally watches it, he'll pick up on a whole lot of things.
When it goes on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So okay, so this is the image that I saw.
Yeah, I saw that image. Yeah.
So I don't know what this means, but it's cool.
It's the Batman logo and kind of
so it's kind of painted red,
reddish, purpley color with the white lightning bolt through the middle of it.
So the one
I see yellow.
Yeah, it's a yellow bolt. The thing that I like about this the most.
Is it yellow? It looks white.
Yeah. It looks yellow on mine.
Well, I lost your video.
You can't compare it to your notepad.
The thing that I love about this most is that this is the original Keaton logo. This is not the one that they redid after they did all the posters.
This is the Batman the movie. This
is the more circular one, and then when all the posters came out, they had stretched it and elongated it. So this is what excites me. This is the Keaton logo, and I'm really excited about that. I don't know what all it means. I'm trying to kind of stay out of things. I don't want to be. I just want the movie, and I'll be happy.
So what's the movie with Batman and Flash?
It's The Flash.
It's a Flash movie, and
Batman's going to be it. Keaton's going to be in it. He's playing Batman.
He does the Flashpoint type stuff in it, and it's supposed to. And
yeah.
I'm not caught up on the Flashpoint
side.
I stopped watching when they started jumping all that.
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the show.
It's the comic book series.
Yeah,
it's a story arc that happened, and it affected everybody pretty much.
This is Flashpoint Batman, technically, which is Thomas Wayne, not Bruce, because in Flashpoint, Thomas and Martha don't die. Bruce dies, and then Thomas becomes Batman, and Martha becomes Joker.
Yeah,
that'll mess with your head. Yeah,
Flash goes back in time. What's going on? He messes up the timeline and everything.
Batman's mom becomes the Joker.
Yeah,
it's the DC version of the Loki show where things got messed up and the timeline just went crazy.
But it's the way that the death of Bruce affects Thomas and Martha differently. Mm-hmm. She goes crazy and goes to the bad way, and he wants to fight everybody and deal with the crime that's in the city. Yeah, it's quite interesting. I got Flashpoint back here behind me if you ever want to borrow and read it. All right. We gotta talk about cops and crooks. Cops and crooks. So, are you ready, Michael?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right,
let's rewind.
We're gonna rewind and get into it.
Okay, so I'll say something on this. We're only going back 1 year because these are set in 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, really. The cartoon is supposed to be a futuristic cartoon, and it was set in 2020, which was last year. So, yeah.
I mean,
all right.
Sorry, I had to do something there because he just paused it.
All right, so No, C.O.P.S. We said this earlier. It's Central Organization of Police Specialists. It's a team of highly trained policemen tasked with protecting the fictional city of Empire City from a group of gangsters led by Big Boss and his crooks. So the line was produced in 1989 by Hasbro. It consisted of 2 different series and several vehicles. There was 7 C.O.P. figures in each series, so it's a total of 14. And then there was 5 crooks in each series, so a total of 10 crooks. And then they had 9 vehicles in the series, in the line. So originally created by MGA, which was Marvin Glass and Associates. And we're going to talk about this later in the episode. So the screeching noise. That wasn't me this time.
I don't know what that was, to be honest.
You got a bird back there?
Maybe.
So MGA, which was Marvin Glass Associates, they were a toy design and engineering firm. It's a place where creators, designers, engineers work together to come up with new ideas and then license those to toy companies. Some of their other well-known MGA products. We'll get to this one when we talk about MGA in a little bit, but they have a bunch of different ones coming up, so I don't want to spoil it. And so we're going to get on to C.O.P.S and Crooks. We'll come back to MGA.
Okay, there we go. We'll come back.
Yeah. So C.O.P.S and Crooks was one of the last toy lines that MGA came up with. After licensing C.O.P.S and Crooks to Hasbro, Hasbro gave it the full marketing treatment, which consisted of the animated cartoon and then a comic book series by DC Comics. The main gimmick of the toy line was the paper roll firing caps. So if you remember your little cap guns that had the little paper rolls, you'd shoot it and it popped, and you pull it through and you pop it again. So that was the main gimmick of this. Several of the lines we've talked about the last few weeks have had some kind of gimmick to it. Like the rub signals from Battle Beast and stuff like that. Every figure and vehicle had this action. On the back of the blister cards, each figure had a personnel file just like G.I. Joe, since they were Hasbro. So they wanted to do the same thing that G.I. Joe had for each figure. You had a little personnel file. And these were also written by Larry Hama from that did the G.I. Joe stuff. He went as far as connecting a C.O.P.S figure to one of the G.I. Joe figures. So Checkpoint, the C.O.P.S figure Checkpoint, was also, his regular name was Wayne R. Sneeden III. He was intended to be Wayne R. Sneeden's son, who was on the G.I. Joe line. His name was Beachhead on G.I. Joe. So Checkpoint in the C.O.P.S figures was Beachhead's, G.I. Joe Beachhead's son, is the way it worked out. But these also had the same articulation and movements and stuff as the G.I. Joe figures. So they just kind of kept up with that.
Just twice as tall.
Yeah, they were taller than G.I. Joe figures, but they had the same one. So so the figures that were in this series. Going back to the cartoon real quick. This was 65 episodes for the show. It ran from 1988 to 89, and then it got re-aired or syndicated in 1993 and was renamed as Cyber C.O.P.S.
Now let's talk about why it was renamed.
Yeah, simply because there was another show that came out in 89 that had the same name and had a very catchy theme song. So
something about calling somebody. Oh wait,
no, you have Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. Sorry.
So C.O.P.S. The reality show C.O.P.S came out. So they when they syndicated the show, they needed to change the name. So Cyber C.O.P.S was the name of the cartoon. They didn't want to get it mixed up with the real live C.O.P.S.
Which I feel like the cartoon came out first, so they should have been like, "That's our name. You go find a better name. Yeah. Call them Bad Boys. I don't care.
Call them Real Life C.O.P.S or something." Yeah.
Yeah.
C.O.P.S Live.
There you go. So yeah, that's horrible. I never thought about the fact that this cartoon predated Cops because
Now, Andrew,
I watched
you
the cartoon.
yeah, that's what I said. You said you watched cartoon. Did you watch it when it first came out in 1989, or did you watch the syndication with the Cyber Cops?
I remember it as Cops, so
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I watched. I mean, maybe I watched it on both. I don't know, but I remember it as Cops. I had a Dr. Bad Vibes that I know of. I probably maybe had another one, but I know I had a Dr. Bad Vibes as we start to talk about the toys. But I'm pretty sure I watched it in '88 because this would have been the same time I was getting ready to watch Turtles, like right before Turtles came out. So, yeah.
Okay. So, some of the figures that were in each series. So, series 1, the Cops figures. You had Barricade. Like I said, all these had the cap firing figure action feature on all these. So Barricade, he was a Crooks control officer, was what his title was. He had a cap firing Crooks cruncher, which was some kind of little thing they all had a little thing where you pull the little thing and it popped the cap and make it, you can always smell the cap and the burn of it and everything. But it was kind of like I'm trying to describe what he's got. It's like it pushes people around. So
he had the arm that extended out to push people back because he was a
control officer. So yeah. Then you had Bulletproof. He was a federal agent. He was actually the leader of the group.
Yeah.
He had a cap firing pistol. He came with the briefcase that locks onto his wrist by like handcuffs. Looks like it's handcuffs, and he's carrying secret papers or something, like diamonds or something in his briefcase. Is kind of what, and it was handcuffed to his wrist.
He's also got a android body.
Yes, yeah, he's got.
he's like a RoboCop.
Yeah,
pretty
much. He goes through and gets hurt, and they opt in to put all this on him and give him a bulletproof vest because it's going to take years for his torso to heal. But his name
is BP
real name.
Vest.
It's Baldwin P. Vest. So BP Vest, bulletproof vest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the cartoon, I watched the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the first episode. He goes by BP or Vest the whole time. And then he turns into Bulletproof. And he's, what is that? A vest? He's a bulletproof naming.
all the names are like that.
Yeah, all the names.
Yeah.
So he's the leader. He's the federal agent. He's the leader of the group. Then you have Highway. He's the highway patrolman of the group. He had a cap firing bomb. I don't know why he has a bomb, but he does have a cap firing bomb. And he has this like hover bike because he's a highway patrolman. But he's set in the future, and so he's got this little scooter thing that he rides on, hover bike, whatever. And it's got motorcycle handlebars, but it's like a hoverboard type thing that he rides on with handlebars.
Yeah.
So and I guess he chases people down the highway with it.
He looks like what the mall cops drive. Their little 3-wheeled Segways.
Yeah. With no wheels.
Except it hovers.
It hovers, and then he has the bomb that attaches to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Which is the cap blowing deal.
Yeah. And then you have Long Arm. He is the patrol officer. He has a cap firing pistol. He comes with his own little police hat. He looks like a cop from like the 30s or 40s. Is the way he's dressed up, He has this wrist control thing that shoots out a handcuff to grab people, and then you pull them, and he pulls them back to him. So he doesn't have to. He just has to shoot it at people, and the handcuff gets them, and he pulls them back towards himself. So I guess that's what happens in the movie. And this, it's got this little string you hook up, and you can pull it through the little wrist part, and you pull people towards them. So it was just a piece of string
All
with a handcuff on it.
And I know this is horrible for an audio podcast, but if you're watching the video, so I have a photo of this of long arm here. Let's talk about this pistol. This pistol looks like a machine gun.
Well, you got to make it big to fit the caps in it, because the caps are...
Yeah, because you can see the revolver part right there. I mean,
you can see the revolver area here. Obviously, where the caps run through here, but this looks like a mix between a machine gun and a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Like for this size character.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, here's a bulletproof with his kind of the same thing, but even more black, so looks even more.
We'll see on long arm. It looks like his is pretty well black there, but I think it's more of a dark blue.
It's a blue, dark.
Oh
blue
yeah,
color.
yeah. I was talking about his gun, bulletproof
The gun is
black,
a little darker color on the gun. Yeah.
We talked about Barricade. Here's Barricade.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next on your list?
You got Officer Bowser and Blitz. So this is he is the canine officer and then the robot dog. So Bowser is the officer, and then Blitz is the dog. And the dog is the one that has the cap firing action feature on there.
Yeah, obviously.
And then the Officer Bowser has a handgun, and then and there's also like a little light, and I don't think it actually lights, but it's a little red thing on top of Bowser that
you can spin it from underneath.
Blitz, on top of Blitz, and you spin it, and it looks like a little light flashing. So, but yeah, he's a robot dog, and then Officer Bowser, you can see he's got all the protective wear, like when you're training a police dog, you're wearing. I don't know why he's wearing it right now when the dog's already been trained, but
it's just his style.
I guess it just say he's the canine officer, and he wears that stuff. I guess.
I really hope that Blitz didn't have to go through the normal canine training since he's a robot.
dog.
Yeah, I don't know.
We
figured it's already programmed. It's already programmed into him, so it's not like he had to learn how to do that.
Also, I would like to point out that these are normal size handguns.
Yeah, he's got regular size handguns.
Yeah,
a lot of them that have the cap firing gun, they also have a regular size handgun that comes with them sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So next we got Sergeant Mace. He's the SWAT team leader. He's got a cap firing bazooka and a handgun, and he's got a clear shield, and so most of them have little helmets or hats that go on them too. So he's got a little.
Hey, go up to the one up in the corner next to. You can see his feet. Yeah, I think they mixed their weapons up on this picture, because that's the battering ram.
Oh yeah.
Mace has that goes.
Mace has got the battering ram, and Barricade. Yeah, on the picture they got their guns.
Yeah, because that's the bazooka. That's a bad.
Yeah. So that makes sense. This is from the Hasbro Toy Fair from '88. So this.
Okay, so this
is when
you got
before the line came out. So
yeah, I was just looking at it. I was like, wait, that looks like what Barricade's supposed to have.
Yeah,
so they probably hadn't even. I mean, you look at this is white. It's probably still just.
Yeah, and the designs.
What is his face? So he's got a mask on, Michael?
So the shield that he's got, the clear shield that he has, it actually belongs to, in the picture that you have, actually belongs to Barricade as well. So yeah.
So they decided to switch.
Yeah,
all their stuff probably.
Yeah. So you got in this picture you got there backwards. So
yeah. All right, let's go talk.
All right. So next Sundown. You got Sundown. So guess what Sundown is? He is a Texas sheriff. Yeehaw!
So it's not Texas Ranger, just a sheriff.
He's a sheriff. He's the sheriff. So he's got a cap firing bolo backpack that shoots out the little bolo. Was that two little balls with a string in between them, and they wrap around you when they hit you. He also has a pair of handguns, and he's got a cowboy hat as his accessory. So, I mean, he's got his little sheriff hat, and he's all decked out in sheriff garb. So.
Had they made a movie, this is Tom Selleck. We do know that, right? This is Tom Selleck.
Yeah, he looks kind of like Tom Selleck. There,
like
yeah.
his mustache is a little longer than Selleck's would have been, but Selleck would have grown it out. Would have been good.
Yeah.
So this is the precursor of Selleck doing whatever the cop show that he was doing last time I saw him.
All right, so Series 1, Crooks. You had first one is Berserko. He's a punk, and he's got 2 cap-firing pistols is what he's got. So he's got 2 big old pistols, one for each hand. And he looks like an 80s punk. He's got a blue jacket with a yellow shirt with some 80s looking like writing on it. Then you have Big Boss, who's the boss of the bad guys. He's the crime king, and he actually kind of resembles Kingpin, is what he looks like to me. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's King. There he is.
Yeah, so he looks like Kingpin. So I guess all bad guys from the 80s look like Kingpin, if you kind of look at stuff like that. So he comes with a cap-firing cane. So I guess he uses a cane to get around, but he can also use it to fire with. And then he has like this robotic weasel type critter. That's what it looks like to me.
It's right up underneath him in front of his leg there.
Yeah, if you look at the picture on his packaging, it's kind of a silver. It looks like a weasel with a silver body. So it's kind of robotic, but the actual toy itself is kind of brown.
Yeah.
I know the picture you got there is black, but the actual toy figure, it was brown. So then the next one, this one is probably my favorite name out of all the bad guys. Buttons McBoom Boom. Now, he definitely looks like a character out of Dick Tracy. He's got this little purpley looking 30s type suit, and he's got his little hat and everything. He's a machine gunner, which would fit right in with the 30s vibe as well. He's got a cap firing machine gun. He's got his little hat. He's got his gun. He's got a violin case that he carries the machine gun in.
Of course.
So
right?
of course, if you're a 1930s machine gunner, you're going to have a violin case that you carry your gun in, your machine gun in.
So his pants and his boots, he's got the Scrooge McDuck things on his boots. The
puppy legs at the bottom.
Well, no, whatever they're called.
The things that wrap around.
They wrap around your shoe and your whatever you're called, specs, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's got those on now. Something. Because we didn't look at the image or whatever, but the Bulletproof has the same things. He wears the same things. He's got the same styles as McBoom.
Long Arm has it because he's got the 1930s or 40s police uniform, and he's got the little things around his. It's Long Arm that's got that. His is white.
No. Bulletproof has it also, but he's wearing like MC Hammer pants with the boots. And he's got the spackles. I don't keep going back to that word, but he's got them. I think they're more prominent in the show, than they were. But yeah.
Okay, so that was Buttons McBoom Boom. Dr. Bad Vibes is the next one. Andrew, you said you remember having this guy.
Yeah, I had a Dr. Bad Vibes.
He's got like a clear skull that you can see his brain in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a mad scientist anyway. So he has a cap firing robot. Now I know the picture you got there. I guess this is pre stuff. He's actually holding a gun, but his robot actually does has the cap firing
anybody get
feature on it. So
anybody getting RoboForce vibes from this robot?
Yeah, the robot looks like a RoboForce robot. He's got the little metal arms, and he's got one that's got little saw blades on it. So yeah, it's kind of a mad scientist is what he is. So
yeah.
Then you have Rock Crusher. He's an escaped convict. So he's wearing his jailbird suit with the black stripes on it. He's got a cap firing jackhammer. So I guess he uses the jackhammer to get it to escape jail or something. I don't know.
He uses the jackhammer for everything. It is his weapon in the cartoon.
It's got a little hydraulic thing backpack that he wears, and and then the jackhammer. So he has it in the cartoon all the time too.
Yeah, he carries it like it's a piece of paper, like it's nothing.
And then he's got a ball and chain around his ankles.
He does not have the ball and chain in the cartoon though.
He doesn't have it. The toy's got it. So
yeah.
So I guess he carries his little ball and chain right after escaping.
Okay.
I guess if you could carry a jackhammer around, you carry a ball and chain around too.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew. So they're called spats.
Spat.
Or that is short for spatterdash. All right, and it came from the 18th century England as a protective accessory for military officers' boots against mud.
Okay.
A little bit of history on this one.
There you go.
Real history.
That's real history right there.
Not toy history.
There you go, Michael.
Yeah.
There's the spats. They're white.
His
looks like
his is around the whole boot. Whereas
his looks like the white shoes with the black tips.
In the cartoon, you can tell more that it's spats. Yeah.
If you look at Long Arm and then who you said Buttons McBoom Boom, theirs are actually around the ankle part of the boots.
Yeah.
Down to the heel, and they wrap around.
Just the bottom part of the foot.
Yeah, like baseball socks where they had the dang it, now I forgot what they're called, but
baseball
those
socks.
little things you pull up, then you would put on. So
there you go.
There you go. There's a guy with some spats.
Spats.
What
was I saying? What did I say? Specs?
Spats.
You were really close.
I was very close.
I had to look it up. So
I knew I was close. All
right. So let's move on to series 2. The C.O.P.S. You had the first one was APES. APES is stood for Automated Police Enforcement Systems. This guy was like a robot. That's kind of what he is. He almost looked like a centurion, kind of.
Of course.
When you look at his
because he has
suit
the pickles and everything.
Yeah, he looks like a centurion, like he would be from the Centurions. So he had a cap firing rifle. He had a power grabber and a helmet. So the power grabber, it would just reach out and grab people. Then you had Airwave. He's the communications officer. He had a cap firing whirligig and a propeller backpack and a helmet. So he would actually fly around with his propeller backpack, and I guess he'd shoot his whirligig at people. So the third one for the series 2 is Checkpoint. He's a military police officer. He's got a cap firing rifle. He's got shoulder and chest armor, kind of like a football player with the shoulder pads and stuff. So that's what he would have, armor, and he had a helmet as a other thing. Then we had Inferno. He's a firefighter, so he had a cap firing axe. I don't know why you would have a cap firing axe, but that's what he had. He had a handgun, a smaller handgun, and he had a firefighter helmet that came along with him. Then you had Nightstick. He's the martial arts expert. So he had a double cap firing, double cap firing pugil stick. Do y'all know what a pugil stick is, or pugil? Pugil? P-U-G-I-L.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's a stick that Poogles use.
No, it's if you watched American Gladiators, a little thing where they fight to knock each other down. They had little things on each end of the stick. That's what it is. That's what a pugil stick is. So that's what he had, and they had a cap firing on each side of it. He came with swords, of course, because he's a martial arts expert, and he had a helmet that came with him too. He had Powder Keg was the next guy. He was bomb squad specialist. He had a cap firing bomb case. And then he had a helmet and a briefcase. And then he had protective gear as well that came with him. And then the last C.O.P.S figure is named Taser. He's a non-lethal detainment specialist. So he didn't have a gun or anything like that. He had a cap-firing thunder cannon is what it was. So, and then he had a taser, and his gun kind of was it one of those beanbag type guns that shoot beanbags at people. So that's he was kind of like a crowd control type person is what he was.
Yeah, he was just taking care of the crowds.
Yeah. So non-lethal detainment specialist is what he was.
So what was his real name?
Taser.
No, his real name.
Taser Face.
Taser Face.
It was
That's
I
all Florida
Watts.
in the Galaxy. High Watts.
I Watts.
I Watts. Okay.
I Watts.
High Watts tasers.
Yeah.
Say,
Taser was his. Taser was his.
I didn't get their real names.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, some of them really stuck out to me because of this.
Yeah, it's just
the play on
way
them, you know.
The naming of stuff from back in the 80s. Yeah. So the Crooks in Series 2, you had Bullet. He was a munitions fanatic. He had a cap-firing cannon, and then he had like a 3-wheel cart that he rode on, kind of like, it was similar to Highway's little hoverboard type thing, but he actually had wheels on his. So, where's he at? I don't have a picture of this thing. But anyway, so he had a 3-wheel little cart, had motorcycle handles and stuff like that. He rode around. He came with a helmet. Except all these came with helmets. So the second one, he had Hyena. He didn't have like what his specialty was, but I wrote down Crazy Man because he looks like a crazy guy. I mean, with Hyena, you're going to be a kind of a crazy type guy.
Yeah.
So he's got cap-firing, knuckle-crunching skull basher is what his weapon was. So it's knuckle-crunching skull basher. He came with a helmet. He came with a knife, and then he had a gun that came with a holster too that he had on his side. Then you had Cuckoo. He's a time bomb expert. I guess Cuckoo, like cuckoo clock. So he came with a cap-firing time bomb, a handgun, and he had 2 daggers as well. Then you had Louis the Plumber. This one's kind of funny too as well. He's got a cap-firing nail gun weapon, and then he had an air tank backpack to actually power the nail gun. He is the Crooks handyman, is what his title was.
Why?
I don't know why a plumber had a nail gun.
Yeah, I was about to ask, why does a plumber have a nail gun?
Yeah, you
I
figure
feel
like a wrench or something like that.
Or a plunger.
Plunger, yeah.
I mean,
you don't see Mario Brothers, Mario and Luigi running around with nail guns.
Could you imagine Mario just going up to Bowser? Pow, 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 pow. You done?
All right. So the last figure in the line, his name is Nightmare. He is an attack android. He's got a cap-firing head. So, and then he had a whip, a handgun, and a dagger that came with him as accessories. So,
all right. Here we go. I'm going to share this. Let's talk about this. This is a what do you call it? A card.
Yeah.
Card bag.
So we can look at it. So it's got all Series 2 on it. So it's got the graphics on this thing are pretty cool. I like the graphics. They've got the police officers in badges, or the good guys in badges, the in Crooks. So that is something that is different on these cards that I noticed. If you bought an officer, it just said cops. If you bought a crook, then they added in Crooks onto it. So there was different packaging a little bit. So, but this one, they've got the Crooks on here. They're all on here. And this is a Nightmare one. So it does come with the how to fire the caps and has the information in there. So, so you just pull the pin up and let it drop on the cap, I guess. So.
Yeah, that's what you do.
The graphics on this are cool. I like them.
Yeah, the artwork on the cards are pretty nice. So that'd be cool to have. just the artwork himself. So we go into the vehicles. Like I said, there's 9 vehicles. What I said. So, and there's some for the cops. There's some for the crooks. There's more for the cops than crooks. But so the first one is the attack vehicle ATAC. This is the armored tactical assault car. So he has a cap firing top gun on top of the vehicle, and then a cap firing grill smasher. So you could actually run it into stuff, and the grill would smash the caps and make a popping sound. These also came. Some of these also came with their own figures too. So this one came with the figure, heavyweight figure. I don't have any other information with each of these figures, the new figures with the vehicles, but so heavyweight came with this one.
This isn't the one you're talking about, is it?
No, that's Ironsides is what you're looking at there.
Okay.
So then you had Air Raid. It's the cops helicopter. It was a helicopter, but it had two different cockpits on each side. One had a blue canopy, blue window. Another one had a red window, so it kind of looked red and blue lights, I guess, for policemen. So it had, yeah, there you go. And then it had multiple cap firing rotor blades. So I guess when the blade spun, it would pop the caps. This one came
caps with, to it.
Yeah. This
cool.
came with a bullseye figure. So it's another cop figure that came with this. And then your next vehicle, you had Airspeeder. This is for the crooks, bad guys. It had a cap firing machine gun, and this one came with a jailbird figure. Was the name of who came with this, and he looks similar to what's his name? No, I forgot his name.
I don't know what was his name.
He looks similar
Rock
to
Crusher.
Rock Crusher is what he kind of looks similar to. He's got the black striped uniform. And then Cop Cycle. It was the motorcycle with a sidecar. It had cap firing, pivoting machine gun, and it came with a blue streak. Was the figure that came with him. So
This was the one you're talking about, but
yeah, the figures that are with these aren't the ones that came with them. So
right.
You would think that it would come with Highway.
Yeah.
Because he's the motorcycle cop, dude, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's not the one that came with it.
No. Then you had a dragster. It's the Crooks. It's from the Crooks side. It's a souped up dune buggy, is what it looks like. And it had cap activated basher. So it would. Where's that dragster? So you would actually run it into things, and it would pop the caps. And then you had Highway Interceptor, which was the cop's vehicle. This was the actual squad car. I don't know why it's a squad car, because you've got only one guy can fit in it, another guy on the back with the machine gun, and that's it. So it's not like you could pick up bad guys with them. So they had a cap firing cannon and a cap firing barricade, which was off on the side of it. And then it came with the figure that came with this was Roadblock. And then not the G.I. Joe Roadblock, but the cops Roadblock. So just keep you from getting confused on that. And then you had Ironsides, which Andrew, you were showing that just a minute ago. It is actually the police tank battling ram. It looks like a tank kind of. It's got a cap firing dual gun on top, and it came with the figure it came with. It was hardtop. And then Pursuit Jet was the next vehicle, is from the cop side. It had a cap firing muzzle blaster. And then the last vehicle in this line was the Pursuit Jet. It's for the crooks. No, actually, Pursuit Jet is the good guys. It's a souped up race car. No, Pursuit Jet is the cops. It's a cap That's what we said. Cap firing muzzle blaster, and then the Crooks is a Roadster, is what it's called. Is the last one. It's a souped up race car. It had cap firing double machine gun and the figure that came with it was Turbo Two Tone, is the name of the figure. So those were the vehicles in this. Like I said, the biggest draw on this line was the cap firing weapons and stuff that they had. So
most definitely
the gimmick. Yeah.
So even though I have these photos, obviously these photos, the ones that I have are from before. I don't have a price on these. How much these sold for? Either one of y'all see anything?
I saw some prices on some of the figures I was looking at, and most of them, the ones that weren't marked down at Toys R Us for $1.48. The rest of them were around $7, $6.99, $7.87 were a couple, but they were never from other stores. I think whoever the ones I was looking at, whoever bought the other ones from Toys R Us, they were marked down at $1.48.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say most other tags I saw were right around $7.50.
Okay. I did see you can get these on eBay or Mercari, anywhere from out of their cards from $5 to $50-ish, depending on the quality and what accessories they have with them. If the poppers still work or whatever. In the box or carded, they were running 100 plus,
right.
all the way up to like 300. I saw one run for 300. I think it was bulletproof that I saw. So, very collectible, if you ask me. I think these are pretty cool.
I like these. I like the actual cap firing part. So
yeah,
cool.
I mean, it's a very 80s thing.
Yeah.
You know,
actually the cap guns, they go all the way back to the 60s, 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah,
cap guns. So it's something different on that kind of it's a different version of the cap guns the way they had it. So
every toy that we talked about from the 80s or whatever has a gimmick.
Yeah.
And this is their gimmick. But this is the only one we've seen that has this thing on it like this, that it has this. So I like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool little line. Yeah.
So speaking of liking it, let's talk about this. Let's drop this on some rankings. We need to rank this thing. Where do you guys place this on your lists? We talked about Battle Beast last week. Number 7 for both of you, and that was number 4 for me. I really liked those.
I'm gonna put these. I like Battle Beast a little bit more. These are gonna go right at 8. I'm gonna drop these in on 8 on my
number
on my
8
list.
for Michael.
Yeah.
John.
I mean, you're the one that had these. I didn't have them, but I really like them. I like the cap firing deal. I think that's a big gimmick that caught my eyes when we were reading this. So I'm gonna go up and put them at number 5.
Number 5 for you. So pushing slot cars down and Thundercats.
Yeah.
I think we kind of had the same thought there, John. These are going number 4. These are going pushing Battle Beasts and stuff down for me. A lot of that for me is going to be the nostalgia of remembering the cartoon. But these are awesome toys. They look like they're well done. Yeah, I mean, they are Hasbro. The vehicles look cool. You've got the cap firing that just makes it that much cooler. Each character, even though it's very, 80s to have names like Bulletproof and everything like that, but they're stylized. Like you've got the characters that are wearing the Dick Tracy stuff, and it's none of them are just like a carbon copy of each other. They're all different, and I like that. I think these are really cool. Yeah, it only happened to last year in 2020, but that's all right. I don't remember.
It's kind of funny seeing what people thought the future would look like back in the 80s, and we're at that point now. And you go back to Back to the Future. Their the future for them, flying cars and all that kind of stuff was at 2015.
Yeah.
And we
6
get to
years
2015.
ago.
Yeah. And we don't have, we're 6 years past that now and still no flying cars or anything like that. So, but it is
Closest thing to that is I know DeLorean has a hoverboard. I don't think it actually hovers, but
no,
he tries to make it. Speaking of DeLorean, over there with the secondary heroes, did you know we are part of the Cross the Streams network?
Are we? Wow.
We are.
Yeah.
We're part of the Cross Streams network.
I think I mentioned that.
Yeah. So lots of cool stuff going on over there. Some of the other podcasts, the Dorksmen, the SDS guys, the secondary heroes, as I mentioned, 3 beers and a mic. The Movie Gap, I really enjoying the Movie Gap. Oh, Michael has more.
Yeah, we got one more thing. Like I said earlier,
Okay.
we're talking about MAG. Is what we're going to.
Okay, well, hold on. We'll come back.
Yeah, so we need to talk, or MGA, not MAG. MGA.
Yeah.
So we need to come back and talk about that then. Okay.
The Movie Gap. I've been enjoying their podcast. Like I've enjoyed all the ones I've listened to everybody, but I've been enjoying listening to their takes on some of the movies. Also, you've got the Dan Aykroyd podcast, the Burt Reynolds, and the Charles Bronson podcast, Front Row Negative, The Art of the Bore, and Bearing Ain't Easy. So there we go. Right in the middle of our talk about stuff, I'm throwing in Across the Streams plug. So there we go.
Michael, forgot we had one more thing to talk about.
I didn't know where we were at. So all right, what do we got? All
right. So like I said, MGA stands for Marvin Glass and Associates, and they're a toy design and engineering firm. They were based out of Chicago. It was created by Marvin Glass. He actually they created some of the coolest stuff that came out in toy history. And then he actually passed away in 1974, and the company continued until 1988, which was when this line came out. That's what I said. It was one of the last lines that they actually put out. It was C.O.P.S and Crooks, and then also in 1988 they put out, or they came up with. I just saw it. Where'd it go? No, it's C.O.P.S and Crooks. Smoochies for Fisher Price is what that was. So, but anyway, so some of the most known, well-known toys that this firm came up with, that it's kind of a big think tank is what it is. And then they would think up these ideas and they would license those to the toy companies, and that's how they made their money. So some of the big names they had Mr. Machine from the Ideal. He came out in 1960. The Great Garloo. He came out. It was Marx, off the Marx Toys. He came out in 1961. They came out with Rock'em Sock'em Robots for Marx in 1964. Light Bright for Milton Bradley came out in 1967. Evil Knievel Stunt Cycle they came up with, and then licensed it to Ideal Toys in 1973. They came up with Simon for Milton Bradley in 1979. A couple others, they had Ants in the Pants, they had Mousetrap, they came up with Operation. A couple others, they had 1965 for Gilbert Toys, they had the James Bond 007 action toys. Some other Hasbro that Hasbro did for them. It was Ambush in 1963, the Kid Doll in 1967, Astro Light, Astro Sound 1969, 1970 they had Inchworm, Super Sunday Football in 1973, Ricochet Racers in 1974, then C.O.P.S in 88. Let's see, a couple others, big names, like I said, Ants in the Pants. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood Puppets and Trolley. They did that in 1977 for Ideal Toys. They did a couple of Kenner. They had a couple of theirs. It was the Wall Walker Smash Up Derby in 1971, and then Hugo Man of 1,000 Faces in 1975. Here's one that's kind of similar. And Marx did one of theirs in 1972 called Bops and Robbers. So I guess
Cops and robbers.
they came up with cops and robbers for the same thing. But let's see, Milton Bradley. Some of their stuff they had Snoopy and Red Baron and Witch in 1970. Body Language 1975, Trip Hammer 74, and Simon, and like I said, so yeah, they came up with a lot of big name toys and stuff like that, games and stuff, and just licensed it to these big name toy people. So and they ran all the way through 1988, and as like I said, Cops and Robbers was the last one of the last of the two that they did. So
they were the idea people.
Yeah, they were the idea people. Yeah. And, like I said, I thought it was pretty cool that they came up with Light Bright and Rock'em Sock'em Robots and Evil Knievel and Simon. We remember Mousetrap and Operations, too, growing up. So, yeah, that was...
Loved playing Mousetrap.
Yeah. So, that's a little bit of history on and who they are, the MGA guys. So,
yeah, setting up Mousetrap was the worst part about playing.
Yeah. It took longer to set it up than it did to play the game. So, but also MGA was contracted by Bally Midway to design coin-operated video games during the 1980s. And some of these that they had was Tapper, Domino Man, and Timber in the 80s. So. All right. Okay,
so now that we're to the end of it.
Yeah, we're at the end now.
Be sure you check us out on Cross the Streams Media. John, you want to run through those socials?
Check our website out, toyrewindpodcast.com, or as he was talking, crossthestreamsmedia.com. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Look us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It's all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. If you've been listening, hopefully you've been looking at our podcast bingo sheet at podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind. And then, of course, like always, just keep up and look for our lives with our collector showcases and our toy box showcases as we do different things on each one. So,
yeah, check out Geek Together, where we do our partnership with the collector showcases. So, yeah. All right. It was a pretty good episode, if you ask me.
Yep.
Lots of information on a relatively small line, but a pretty cool line. So, anything else that we didn't talk about?
I don't know. We even added some fashion history into this one.
We did.
Fashion history
on some spats.
Everybody go get you some spats.
A little bit of toy think tank history, and yeah, I'm about to go get me some spats.
Look, my little Scrooge has red spats. Can't even see it because it's not clear. Yeah, there we go. Got red spats on. All right. Yeah. Well,
the penguin has spats too. Look.
Yeah.
The penguin has white spats. He does.
White spats goes around his feet. Okay. All right. Now
Mom will be happy that we learned a word that she's probably yelling it at me the whole time I was saying it wrong.
I think you said it right. I just. Yeah.
I think I was saying specs. I think I was saying specs.
He was saying specs.
Yeah. So spats. That is a liquor store. There you go. All right. Well, then, if that's the case, episode
57.
50. I was about to say, was it 57 or 58? 57. Episode 57 of the Toy Rewind podcast. We talk about cops and crooks. Technically, I guess. I don't know whatever we call it. So hope you guys enjoyed. And on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.